Hey everyone! Welcome back to GENSHIFT, the series where we explore Gen Z versus Millennials in all things life. This is episode 6, and we're diving into dating and relationship swipe right generation versus old school romance. If you've ever wondered how dating has evolved from mixtapes and promposals to memes and swipe rights, you're in the right place. We'll cover 5 big areas of love and romance across generations. How we meet flirting and communication privacy versus public posting commitment and labels and breakups and conflict. It's a fun listicle style journey, so buckle up for some nostalgia and some no way we do that moments. Before we jump in, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more Gen Z versus Millennials stories. How we meet dating always starts with how we meet that special someone. Millennials grew up meeting people old school. Think old school romance moments, chatting up a cute stranger at a coffee shop, getting introduced through a friend at a house party, or even an adorable meet cute in the college library. High school sweethearts and college romances were totally a thing. Some millennials can reminisce about a time when online dating wasn't the default. Asking someone out in person, yes, face-to-face, was how you did it. Maybe you flirted by lending your crush a mixtape CD of love songs or nervously dialing their landline hoping they'd pick up. It was analog and heartfelt. Gen Z, on the other hand, are true digital natives. Enter the swipe right generation. For many in Gen Z, meeting someone new often starts with a swipe on a dating app. Swipe right on Tinder or Bumble and boom, you've got a match. That's literally how you signal I'm interested on these apps. Online dating is practically a default mode for Gen Z to connect. But here's a plot twist. Gen Z is actually bringing back a bit of old school romance. A lot of young people say dating apps feel impersonal. Even shoogie equal sign out of date, uncool in Gen Z slang. They'd rather meet IRL in real life, like at a park concert or yes, even a coffee shop, just like the old days. In fact, surveys show that many Gen Z singles would ditch the apps to meet someone in person. So the swipe right kids and the old school romantics aren't so far apart after all. Both generations agree that a genuine connection beats an algorithm. Whether it's a millennial mom bragging we met at a record store or a Gen Z saying we locked eyes at Starbucks, the butterflies feel the same. Flirting and communication. Next up, flirting and communication, basically how we show someone we like them and how we talk once we do. Millennials might remember long phone calls that lasted past midnight or texting on a flip phone under the covers. T9 texting was an art. Back in high school, a millennial crush might pass you a paper note with, "Do you like me? Yes, no," or dedicate a song to you on their MySpace page. Flirting often involved actual voice calls, nerve-wracking, heart-thumping phone calls where you'd talk for hours and say you hang up first. No, you hang up first. And let's not forget the promposal era for younger millennials, elaborate, cheesy invitations to prom to show you really liked someone. In communication, millennials tend to use full sentences and even punctuation in texts, which Gen Z sometimes thinks is very formal. Fun fact, ending a text with a period can seem passive-aggressive to a Gen Z texter, while a millennial just thinks it's proper grammar. Now, Gen Z has a totally different flirting toolkit. They flirt through Snapchat streaks and TikTok DMs. A Snapchat streak is when 2 people exchange snaps, photos, videos every single day. Keep a streak going for 100 days, and hey, that's basically flirting commitment for Gen Z. They might send a meme or a funny TikTok instead of a pickup line, using humor and internet culture to say I like you. This is often called meme flirting, where sharing the perfect funny meme equals modern love note. And if a Gen Z says someone has Rizz, that's a compliment. Rizz means charisma or flirting skill, essentially having game and attracting someone. And Gen Z communication is quick and witty. They love emoji, and slang to a millennial Gen Z text can look like code, all lowercase, no punctuation, lots of abbreviations like NVM or IKR. Instead of long calls, Gen Z might prefer a quick FaceTime or a voice note. They're known to double tap your Instagram photo as a sign of interest or slide into your DMs direct messages with a simple hey. Different methods, same dating game. By the way, if you're enjoying this stroll through dating culture, drop us a like and hit subscribe for more fun comparisons. Despite these differences, both generations have their own charm in flirting. A millennial might charm you with a carefully curated Spotify playlist, the modern mixtape, or a sweet goodnight text with a 3 heart. A Gen Z might hit you with the perfect viral meme that makes you laugh until you're smitten. However we communicate, be it ILY over a call or skull emoji for I'm dying laughing in a text, the goal is the same: to let someone know we're into them. Privacy versus public posting. Third on the list, privacy versus public posting. How much do we share about our relationships in the spotlight of social media? Millennials grew up oversharing, kinda. Being Facebook official was the milestone. Do you remember that changing your Facebook status to in a relationship and tagging your partner? That was a huge deal, complete with a comment section full of congrats you two from distant relatives. Many millennials didn't hesitate to post full photo albums of date nights and anniversaries online. Throwback to early Instagram, millennials would post a grainy Valencia-filtered couple selfie, captioned "Dinner with my love hash blessed." They'd write sappy birthday posts on their partner's Facebook wall for all to see, privacy. Not so much. It was more about declaring your romance to the world. Even earlier, some millennials might recall bringing a disposable camera to a date, then posting the printed pics in an album. Later, it was normal to share, partly because social media was new and exciting, and oversharing was just part of the culture. Gen Z takes a different approach. Sure, they post about love, but often in a more strategic, minimalist way. Enter the soft launch. If you haven't heard, soft launching a relationship means hinting at your new partner on social media without fully revealing them. For example, a Gen Z might post an Instagram story of 2 iced coffees on a table, 2 hands visible, but no tags. Just a coy caption like Sunday mood, letting friends suspect, oh, they're seeing someone, but keeping it low-key. No official announcement, just a teaser. Full public reveal, the hard launch comes later. Maybe after they're sure it's serious, they'll finally post a couple's pic with faces and tags. Gen Z tends to value privacy and control over what they share. They might use close friends' stories on Instagram, a private list to show the goofy couple content, while their public feed stays curated and mysterious. Being too mushy online is sometimes seen as cringe. Interestingly, both generations end up sharing when they're really in love. A millennial might flood Facebook with wedding photos, and a Gen Z might do a cute TikTok dance with their partner, but Gen Z is more likely to keep things low-key until they're sure. Different platforms, different styles. Millennials announced love via relationship statuses. Gen Z might drop a subtle hint and let the rumor mill do the rest. But at the end of the day, when we're happy in love, we all tend to share at least a little of that joy with the world, whether it's a golden hour Instagram post or an old school we're engaged mass email. Commitment and labels. Now let's talk commitment and labels defining the relationship and what we call each other. This is a big one. Millennials usually like to DTR, define the relationship. Yes, DTR is an actual phrase meaning having the talk about what are we. For a millennial, after a certain number of dates, it was normal to sit down and say, so are we boyfriend and girlfriend? Getting that label was reassuring. They used terms like boyfriend, girlfriend, or later significant other. And once you had that label, you celebrated anniversaries of when you started officially dating. Many millennials can recall the exact date they became official because it was clearly agreed upon. Even something like being exclusive, agreeing not to see other people usually implied you were in a relationship. In the old school romance playbook, if you were exclusively dating, congratulations, you had a partner, and you might announce it, cue the Facebook official moment we mentioned. There were fewer in-between gray areas. Either you were just casually dating or you were together. Even the term going steady, a bit earlier generation was understood by millennials as meaning officially a couple. Gen Z encountered a lot more gray area in commitment. The new dating lingo has terms like situationship, when you're more than friends with benefits but less than an official couple. Basically, it's undefined and one big ball of confusion for anyone who prefers clear labels. A Gen Z pair might hang out, meet each other's friends, even have feelings, yet when someone asks, so is he your boyfriend? The answer might be, we haven't labeled it. Gen Z often delay the labels to keep things flexible. They might say we're talking, meaning we're getting to know each other romantically but not committed for months, or we're exclusive but still not using boyfriend, girlfriend titles. It's like there are extra stages: talking, then officially dating, then maybe exclusive, then actually in a relationship. A millennial listening to this might be thinking that sounds exhausting. Even the DTR talk sometimes gets pushed off because it can feel heavy. But don't get it wrong, Gen Z does value commitment. They just go about it differently. They often want to make sure everything's chill and that no one's rushing or getting hurt. In fact, some Gen Zers have high standards for commitment. They might want to be very sure before they label anything. And funnily enough, some millennials in their 30s today find themselves learning this new lingo as they date younger people. Wait, are we in a situationship? Are we exclusive but not official? It can be confusing. Here's where both generations can agree clear communication helps. Whether you call it DTR or just having the talk at some point, you gotta know if you're on the same page. Millennials might roll their eyes at it's complicated, while Gen Z has basically made peace with complicating it. But in the end, both Gen Z and Millennials feel that warm, fuzzy relief when both people say, yeah, let's be together for real. Breakups and conflict. Finally, let's tackle breakups and conflict. Not the happiest part of dating, but hey, it happens to everyone. This is where you really see some differences in style. Millennials grew up having to face breakups a bit more directly. If you were breaking up in the 2000s, you often had a conversation. Maybe you met in person to talk things through the classic we need to talk meeting at a coffee shop or park bench, dreaded but respectful. Or at least you'd make a phone call to end things if meeting wasn't possible. Some millennials even wrote heartfelt breakup letters or emails for closure. It was normal to explain your feelings and have that potentially tearful talk about why it's not working out. Conflict and arguments were typically hashed out via phone or face-to-face. Remember, early on, texting was limited and painfully slow on a flip phone, so serious emotional discussions weren't as often done via text. And after a breakup, a millennial might do something symbolic like burning old photos, returning a box of the ex's stuff, or posting a sad song lyric as their aim-away message, or Facebook status the subtweet of yesteryear, basically. There was a concept of closure. Many felt it was important to formally end things and say goodbye even if it hurt. Gen Z has a different approach shaped by having the internet and smartphones at their fingertips. One word, ghosting. To ghost someone means to disappear from their life suddenly. Ignore their texts, stop answering, basically vanish like a ghost. Unfortunately, this has become common in modern dating. The most popular reason people ghost is to avoid confrontation. Gen Z, having grown up with digital communication, sometimes find it easier to handle conflict by not handling it. They just fade out. It's not that every Gen Z ghosts, of course, but the concept is much more talked about now than it ever was. Breaking up by sending a text is also more accepted today, whereas a decade or two ago it was seen as quite cold. If a Gen Z is unhappy, they might start replying with one-word texts or leaving their partner on read you see the message, but don't respond as a sign something's wrong. The actual breakup might be a brief text like, hey, I don't think this is working out, SRY. Ouch. Or they might simply block the person on all apps, the digital equivalent of dropping off the earth. Conflict can also play out on social media indirectly. Ever see someone post a moody TikTok or a cryptic Instagram quote like, I guess I really was the problem right after a fight? Yup, Gen Z might express hurt in public but not direct ways online, a bit like how some millennials would post a sad song lyric on Facebook. It's different platforms, same catharsis. One interesting twist, because Gen Z is generally more open about mental health, some are actually very good at communicating feelings and setting boundaries. You might find a Gen Z couple calmly discussing their attachment styles or going to therapy together, which older generations rarely did while dating. So it's not all ghosting. Many young people are learning healthy conflict resolution too. Meanwhile, plenty of millennials have definitely ghosted someone as well. It's not exclusive to Gen Z, and we all know breakups hurt whether you're 22 or 42. Both generations cope in their own ways. A millennial might blast 90s breakup songs or call their best friend to cry it out, and a Gen Z might make a TikTok playlist of sad lo-fi tracks and vent on a Discord server. The methods differ, but the heartache is universal. Conclusion. At the end of the day, even if the platforms change, the emotions don't. Love is still love. Despite all the quirky differences between swiping an app or making a mixtape using LOL or a literal laughing emoji, we're all just trying to find someone to connect with. Gen Z or millennial, we get butterflies in our stomach on a first date. We get nervous waiting for that text back, and we smile at silly little romantic gestures. Be it a heart react on a story or a bouquet of hand-picked flowers. The technology and lingo may evolve, but the dating game's core remains the same. It's about forming a relationship with someone who makes your heart skip a beat. Both generations can learn from each other. Maybe old-school patience and directness meets new-school openness and creativity. In the end, a great date is a great date, and a broken heart feels just as rough whether you're crying over a Fleetwood Mac song on vinyl or an Olivia Rodrigo track on Spotify. Times change, but love is timeless. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this fun look at Gen Z versus Millennials in the romance department, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to GENSHIFT for more generational deep dives. And hey, share in the comments, are you team swipe right or team old school romance? Remember, whether you're texting or actually writing love letters, keep that heart open, because love in any generation is a beautiful thing.